Henry, we just heard him described as immortal. When you own a horse described as immortal, and I think it's a very, very fair word to use about your boy, what does that mean?
Oh, look, it's really special. You dream, I guess, all your life when you're racing horses of coming up with a horse like West Coast, and the stars aligned, and we were lucky enough to come up. He's a magnificent animal. Like I say, there's a lot of things involved. There's Mark Olligan and Sean Fannin, of course. We had an amazing year. Jumps racing's difficult at the best of times, and to get those things to align, and I just can't thank those people enough. It's a very, very special. What he's been able to achieve over those last 2 or 3 seasons in jumps racing is really something special. And it's a pity that Mark and Sean couldn't be with us here tonight, but of course there's jumps racing at Woodfull today, which is unfortunate, and there's just no way that they could get here. I think which is a real shame for tonight, because jumps racing is a big part of what we do, in racing, and not to be able to have those people here, I think, is a bit disappointing. But we're here to represent them, and I thank them. Mark's an incredible horseman. What he's been able to achieve over the years is incredible. And Sean, Sean's got I think you're going to see a lot more of Sean Fannin. He's an incredible horseman, and how he rides is incredible, and to both of them. So with a horse as well, that's what it takes. I guess the whole 3 things aligned, and it was pretty special.
I won't keep you up here for too much longer because the phone's going off. Obviously, people want to get in touch with you to talk about your boy. Just on Sean, when he gets on your horse, like he's so good on a jumps horse. He's so good on any horse, but he's so good on a jumps horse. When he jumps on a horse that you own, what confidence does that give you?
Well, it gives me a lot of confidence. I mean, there's a couple of things here, because I know the horse is ready, because Mark is an amazing stockman and he's an incredible horseman. And then you've got Sean, who I think, is an outstanding horseman. He's an incredible rider. You've only got to watch him, how he sits on a horse and how he thinks. I've got to know Sean quite well over the last little bit, and I think we're only just seeing the start of something great.
I am pleased to announce that the winner of the 2024-25 New Zealand Stable Hand of the Year Award, sponsored by Saddlery Warehouse Cambridge in Tauranga, is Stephanie Hyde-Richards.
We heard a little bit about why you love your job, but what is it about horses that makes your work so special?
Oh, there's something very freeing about working with horses. They don't ask questions, they don't answer back, You can't really complain about working with them.
Tell me about the people who are with you tonight. You've got a table of wonderful supporters down there. Tell me about them.
Well, it's a bit of a team event tonight. We've got Steve and Lindley, my best friend Riley, my sister Emma and Enzo, Maria and Harley, Jason, and no, Jason's with Cambridge, never mind, Katie and Matt. So everyone's helped us along the way, whether it's Katie coming in and helping muck out boxes or bring horses in, and Matt's the same, roping in the family and putting them to work.
Is that the way to get the job done?
Yeah, definitely.
You mentioned Stephen Ortridge, and he's obviously a huge part of what you do. Tell me about him and Lindley and why they're so special to you.
Oh, they're just good people. They always there to help you out, whether it's with work or personal, anything. Just ask and they're there to help you.
That's what you need, isn't it? Steph, what does it mean to be awarded the Stable Hand of the Year award tonight?
Oh, well, like I said in my interview, I had no idea I'd even been nominated. It's a huge honour to beat New Zealand. To think that someone thought that I was worth the award. It's, huge honour.
Steph, well done. Enjoy tonight, thoroughly deserved.
Thank you very much.
And I'm pleased to announce that the winner of the 24-25 Jockey of the Year, sponsored by BCG Crave, is Craig Grills.
Well, it's not very often I can start an interview and say that I've got the height advantage, so that's a good start. Craig, congratulations. I mean, we all know it was an unbelievable season. You just seemed like you were so good you're on autopilot. What was it like in the saddle for you?
I don't know, guys. Like, it was just one of those seasons, like, start off like normal, you know, get riding, go to meeting after meeting. All of a sudden I was, at one point I was 30 in front, and then I was 40 in front, and yeah, I really don't know. Just sort of, I was getting on the right horses, great support, so I've obviously got to thank all the trainers and owners that have put me on, because that's just how it worked. It's just got on good horses, and that's what you need. Support, not just at the races, at home, my partner CL, mum and dad, support from them, all my mates, my manager Michael Coleman, who does a great job. Yeah, it's all like a snowball sort of thing that just sort of works in together. But yeah, like I say, I never thought I'd be standing up here sort of getting this award, so I'm very humbled and very proud to be standing here.
How did you approach the season? Because I take it the premiership was something that you wanted to wrap up, and then this comes with it. But what was your kind of mental approach to this season, and how much did that help you in achieving the massive results that you did?
I just wanted to be consistent week in, week out, and I felt I was pretty good at doing that. Obviously, being a jockey, you can't always get them all right, but that was my main goal, to just be week in, week out consistent, and I felt I did that pretty good. So, yeah, like I said, obviously getting on the right horses was a big thing of it, and yeah, just turning up and doing the job.
You told Emily earlier when you came up for the Premiership Award that obviously Like a Lucy was the highlight. Just a couple of races that she won that I want to talk to you about. One was the Fillies Classic at Te Rapa, and I need you to give me some verbatim truth here. What on earth was going through your mind when you were stuck on the rail and there was about 200 metres to go, and I think a few people who might have had her either in a multi or a trifecta were thinking, shit, we might be in trouble here?
I was probably thinking the same thing as them as well, and I don't know if you could censor some of the words out, but yeah, there's probably a few swear words going from my head, but good horses get you out of sticky situations. As it's been mentioned before, good horses make good trainers, jockeys, and so on. So, yeah, if you've got the stock underneath you, it makes all the difference.
What was she like to ride? Because she looked very special. Her Oaks win was very special. Her Lowland win was incredible. What is it like to sit on a horse like that?
Well, she was easy because, well, for one, she was bomb-proof. Like, your grandmother could ride her, so she was very quiet, which was a good start. But then also, like, you just say you're in the run and then a little gap would open up, you just go, and they just go through it. Just, like I said, did everything for you, so it just made life very easy. So it'd be good if you could have one of them a year, it'd be very nice.
How special is this? I know the Premiership, you wrapped that up, but you didn't know you were winning this one. What does this one mean to you?
Oh, it's, yeah, very special. Yeah, as I said, very, very humbling, very humbling. I love what I do, and I thought about it the other day, like had a little minor setback with an injury and I couldn't ride for a month, and I thought about it yesterday when I was back riding. It sort of went through my head, sort of thinking, one day I'm not going to be able to do this, so I sort of, obviously as you get older and going to get out of it, and I thought, I just want to enjoy every moment of it because, yeah, not going to be able to do it forever, and I think you take it for granted sometimes, so just something like this is very, very special.
Well, you love doing it. We love watching you in the saddle, mate. Massive congratulations.
Yep, thanks, Guy. Cheers.
I am pleased to announce that the winner of the 2024-2025 Jumps Jockey of the Year, sponsored by Rothy Recruitment, is Sean Fannin.
It's an honour for me to be able to receive this on Sean. He is an incredible young horseman. His affiliation with West Coast, and he's carried that on, and yeah, I think we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg of what's to come.
I'd agree with you there. What do you think he'd like to say if he was here tonight?
Well, he's pretty modest, Sean, and he wouldn't say a lot probably, but I'll say it on his behalf, and he'll be very proud of this award. He puts a lot into racing. He's not only he's a great horseman. You watch him sit on a horse and how he rides. I love to watch him ride because he rides so well, but also he's a great strategist and he thinks before he rides, and he's got it all planned out. And Sean and Hazel, they've got a new stable. They're doing very, very well for themselves, if we've seen, and so I think this is a great accolade to him, and I wish him all the best for the future. And I think, as I said before, we've only seen small things that are to come.
I'm pleased to announce that the winner of the 2024-25 Trainer of the Year, sponsored by Dunstan Horse Feeds, is Mark Walker and Sam Burgessing.
Congratulations, both of you. Sam, you took quite a bit more responsibility this year when Mark went over to Australia. What challenges has that been like, and how have you approached them?
Yeah, it's been a massive year. It's sort of a lot of challenges, like you say. It was sort of, I suppose, life after Imperatriz and life after Opie as well, which was always going to be tough. But, there's some massive highlights up there, and we're very fortunate. We've got a fantastic group of owners. A lot of them are here today. A really good group of young staff as well, which is really exciting. And we can't do it without the support of Dave there at the sales, buying these fantastic young horses, and very I sort of pinch myself getting awards like this, and I'm in a very privileged position to be training alongside Mark with the support of Karen and Dave. So yeah, very lucky.
Well said. I mean, I think we pinch ourselves sometimes watching some of your horses go around. I mean, we just saw the highlights package there. You guys have had some sensational horses in the last season. You always do, but Lada Rada, Return to Conquer, Captured by Love, Damask Rose, to name a few. What goes through your mind when they go out on track and there's expectation of those tangerine colours to kind of be saluting on the big stage?
Yeah, it's hard. It sort of differs on the different situations. Like you say, there's a lot of pressure. Sometimes it's relief. Sometimes it's excitement. It's hard not to be excited, especially, I suppose, yesterday's a really good example. You're back at Ellerslie Group 1 racing. There's highs and lows, there's disappointments throughout the day, and then, we're fortunate enough to pick up the Group 1, which was massively exciting. So, yeah, it's sort of dependent on the different situation. But, it's awesome. You listed off some amazing horses there, and a real privilege. You tipped her all week, Quintessa, and I was stupid enough to not get on her, but that's okay. What part has Mark played, even though he hasn't been in New Zealand for you? Yeah, he's been a massive mentor. I think we're pretty good mates now, and he always even when he's not in New Zealand, he rings every day, and he sort of checks in with the horses and other things as well, personal life as well. He's always, he's a really he's a really good mate, and he's always looking out for me, and I'm very fortunate he's passed on all his knowledge, and like I say, just a very lucky position I am in.
You are going to have your name forever etched alongside Mark, forever etched in New Zealand racing history as one of the trainers to win the first ever NZB Kiwi. If I can take you back to Champions Day, what was that like for you when she crossed the line? And have you had a moment to reflect on exactly that your name is going to be in history in New Zealand racing forever?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. We were fortunate enough, we had a bit of luck early in the day with Return to Conquer, and that was relief. And we were sort of able to more enjoy Damask Rose, especially after she missed the kick. We sort of thought, the race is run, we're in trouble here. And I remember watching it with Mark, and I said to him, shit, we're effed.
He'll use the actual words, don't worry, when he comes up next.
But, you know, and it was just fair play to the filly. It was a fantastic win. And you know, whenever you sort of see it again and you sort of do pinch yourself, it was just unbelievable. And it was a surreal day. And, you know, like I sort of watch it and I just think, you know, how did that even happen?
Henry here representing Cambridge stud Sir Brendan and Lady Jo Lindsay. I know they wanted to be here tonight and they'd be very honoured to win this award, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they would be. It's been a great ride for them for 8 years. And it's funny, when I sat down with Brendan before I took the Cambridge job, he said, what do you think we need to get out of it? And I said, look, the stud, Cambridge is an iconic brand. Patrick's done an amazing job there. The brand will look after itself. I said, I think it's important that you have a good competitive racing string. I think that's what will really float your boat, you and Joe. And we've tried every year with our trainers, working with Lance, our New Zealand trainers, working with our Australian trainers, to get those horses to perform every year for them. And, you know, we've had some ups and downs, but on the whole, it's really captured them. And they've been massive investors in this industry in a very short space of time. And as Mark said, they just absolutely love it. And Brendan and Joe, because they've got that farm at Karaka, they choose to run a private stable there. It's their pride and joy. I mean, Brendan goes out there 2 or 3 mornings a week. He feels like he's training them, which is great. You know, it's the old Bart Cummings story with the owner that came to Bart and said, how much do you charge? And Bart said, well, I'm $80 a day if I train him, I'm $120 if you help me. So Brendan is paying double to get Lance to train for him. But, you know, he loves it. Joe is exactly the same. They both absolutely love their horses, the way they look after them. When Snazzy Tabby got laminitis, it was a real blow for Graham Richardson and his team. It was a blow for everybody, and we nearly lost her. Thanks to the team at Matamata Vets, Dave Keenan, his team, Tracy, we've got her back, and she's finally back at Karaka after 6 months. But it's been a very long journey for them. But, you know, we had 2 Group 1s with her along the way, so it was a fantastic ride. But I'm very sad that they're not here tonight, but to both of them, thank you for giving us the opportunity to shine on this stage. And my Cambridge stud team here tonight, we're all very grateful for their investment and their enthusiasm and the fact that they just keep pushing us to do better.